Check, check, check. Welcome to Studio Day Heffrey, everybody. It's an odd time for me to be doing a video, but I had to get in my Call of Duty after the show today. So yeah, here at 12:01 a.m., you'll get some action from Studio Day Heffrey. If you caught the G-Bag Nation today, you've already heard a lot of what this is going to be, but I want to preview the NFC East when it comes to the NFL Draft. We talk about the Cowboys a lot here on Channel Day Heffrey, home of the Cowboys, but what about the other teams? What might they be thinking, and what do or don't you want them to do? Remember, you can leave in the comments what you would like to talk about in tomorrow's video, and I'll be sure to get those, and we will rock and roll on that. So let's go in order here, since the Washington Redskins are picking second in the NFL Draft overall. My theory is, what might they do, and what do you not want them to do? And what they might do is they might pick Chase Young. They probably will pick Chase Young out of Ohio State, and I don't want them to. But I'm also captain trade down. So normally, on average, if you trade down, you win. You are the winner of that trade, and you've made a good decision. So in theory, you should want them to pick Chase Young instead of letting somebody else trade up to take either him or a quarterback or whatever. In theory, you should want them to stick there and pick Chase Young. Because in theory, they could get better value if they moved down and picked multiple players. But that is a law of averages. And Chase Young is likely the sort of player where you don't want to trade down. Joey Bosa, Niners shouldn't have traded down. They did the right thing. They picked a great player. And Chase Young is probably going to be like that. So the worst case scenario is that the Washington Redskins pick Chase Young. And you know what's going to happen? Washington's going to pick Chase Young. That's worst case scenario, and it's going to happen. Now, they don't have their next pick until 66 overall, and their biggest needs, offensive tackle and tight end, and maybe interior offensive line. So if you're Washington, not that you follow need, they could pick whoever's the best player available, but at 66, I think that's about the right time for the tight ends to start going off the board, and it depends what they're looking for. If they're looking to replace the Jordan Reed type of player, maybe they get Hunter Bryant or Harrison Bryant, Washington or Florida Atlantic, those sort of big slots that are, we call them tight ends, but really they play in the slot and are just mismatch weapons that can play right there. So for Washington, look out for tight ends. I think 66 is a good spot for that. Maybe they want an inline guy, and that's a good spot for Cole Kmet or Adam Troutman. And that's Washington's preview, at least of their top 100 picks. Now, we move on to the New York Giants. New York has a pick at 4. They have a pick at 36, and they have a pick at 99. So what are New York's biggest needs? Offensive tackle to protect Daniel Jones, linebacker, pass rusher. Those are probably their 3 biggest needs. So at number 4 overall, a lot of people are mocking them to take an offensive tackle and take the first guy off the board. Protecting your quarterback is super important, so I totally get it. But if they do that, let's think about the most likely way that the top 3 is going to go. Number 1, Joe Burrow. Number 2, Chase Young. I believe at number 3, Detroit's going to trade down with either the Chargers or the Dolphins, and they're going to come up and pick their quarterback. Be it Herbert, Tua, even Jordan Love, whatever. I think 3 is going to be a quarterback, and Detroit's going to move back a couple spots and still get their guy, Jeff Okudah, the cornerback from Ohio State, which means at 4, the Giants have options. Whoever their top offensive tackle is, that could be a good pick. It could be a really good pick. They could find their version of Tyron Smith, who's going to be a great player for a decade, maybe longer. And that wouldn't be good for the Cowboys. But for me, the worst case is Isaiah Simmons, because if we eliminate quarterbacks, because the way I would do a draft board is different than the way everybody else would. If you think that Jordan Love's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL, if you think, whichever guy, and you say, hey, I think that's going to be a franchise QB, like that's going to be a guy that's going to play quarterback and he's going to play it well, then my draft board would go 1 Burrow, 2 Tua, 3 Herbert, 4 Jordan Love. Now start naming position players. So just throw the quarterbacks out for a minute. And on my big board, Isaiah Simmons would be number 2. I think I would go Chase Young, Isaiah Simmons, Jeff Okudah. Those to me are the 3 premier non-quarterbacks in this draft class. And I don't want the Giants to end up with Isaiah Simmons, because if you find the team that's going to use him right, you can build an entire defense around Isaiah Simmons. You don't have to call him a will linebacker. You don't have to call him a strong safety. You don't have to, whatever. The dude can do everything. I promise you, if Isaiah Simmons lined up and played defensive end at 230 whatever pounds, he would get 12 sacks this year. He'd do it. He's that good when he rushes the passer. Maybe he'd get more than 12 sacks. If you play him at linebacker and you make him the will linebacker and you try to keep him clean and just want him to be a tackling machine, he'll probably end up with 150 tackles and 3 interceptions and 9 tackles for loss. If you want him to play strong safety, he'll cover tight ends. You could walk him out to cover the slot once in a while if you want to, drop him into zone. There's nothing Isaiah Simmons can't do on a football field. So for me, even though offensive tackle is probably still viewed as a more valuable position in the NFL, I think Isaiah Simmons is unique, and I think he's special. And to me, that is worst case for the Cowboys, would be that the New York Giants end up with Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson. Now, when you get to their picks at 36 and 99, let's say they do take Isaiah Simmons at number 4. Then 36, maybe you're talking about Austin Jackson, USC offensive tackle, maybe Ezra Cleveland, Boise State offensive tackle, somebody like that. And at 99, who are the linebackers down there? Maybe Logan Wilson. Maybe my guy Akeem Davis-Gaither makes it that far. Jordan Brooks at Texas Tech. It's a pretty good group of linebackers that's not getting talked about a lot, but, you know, Simmons will go in the first. Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma will probably go in the first. Patrick Queen will probably go in the first. Zach Bond I could see going in the first. But this linebacker group, let me pull up my board real quick. Let me get this pulled up, because there's a lot of linebackers in this draft class that I like. I hope that the Cowboys, they're pretty popular at taking a 4th or 5th round linebacker. And if the right guy's there, I'm down for it. Oh, my right guy for the Cowboys, by the way, Davion Taylor, Colorado. That's your mid to late round linebacker, because that dude has physical tools for days and is an inexperienced football player, and that's the dude that I would take a chance on. Okay, so for them at 99, maybe Malik Harrison at Ohio State. Let's see where Gay goes, the linebacker from crap. I just drew a blank in the middle of a live video. But he's awesome. There's just a bunch of off the field questions about him, but on the field, he's a pretty good player and a phenomenal athlete. Let me make sure I'm not screwing it. There you are, Mississippi State. Yeah, Willie Gay Jr. He's a freak show. I don't want. God, that'd be. How about that haul for the Giants? What if they could manage to pull off? Let's say it's Isaiah Simmons, and then Austin Jackson and Willie Gay Jr. Holy cow! I don't want them. Is that too many linebackers for him? I don't know. Maybe they have to take an edge at 99. Maybe they get somebody like Darrell Taylor, Tennessee. May go earlier than that. Bradley and Utah. So that's the outlook for the Giants. Philadelphia Eagles. They've got picks at 21, 53, 85, and 103. Biggest needs are probably wide receiver, linebacker, and one more corner. Maybe Sidney Jones could be that guy, but they've signed 2 corners. They probably signed their starting slot, and they got Darius Slay now to man 1 corner, but the other corner is still bad news for them. So they can do this one of 2 ways. Obviously, my greatest fear is that the Philadelphia Eagles at number 21 somehow get Henry Ruggs to fall in their lap. I don't think they will. We talked about it today on the show. There's a chance that Henry Ruggs is the first receiver off the board in this draft. There's a real chance of that. He could be special in the NFL. He could be Tyreek Hill style of player, because Henry Ruggs is not just a burner. He's got ball skills. He's great after the catch. He's good in contested situations. He's not one of these guys that he runs really fast. No, there's more to Henry Ruggs than running fast. So that's my worst case for them. But they could also go corner at 21 if they wanted to really try to shore up that secondary. Christian Fulton or Jeff Gladney at 21. That could be a nice pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. They need a linebacker. cornerback, and a wide receiver. So for the Cowboys, let me see. The worst case this could play out for the Cowboys, and what I don't want to happen is the Eagles to end up with, let's make it more realistic. Ruggs is gone. They get Rager at 21. I keep seeing Jalen Rager mocked in the second round. Maybe that'll happen, but I think he's better than that. Let's say the Eagles get Jalen Rager at 21. At 53, they get Damon Arnett or A.J. Terrell, corners, Ohio State and Clemson. Maybe both of them are gone. Maybe Noah Igbenogany out of Auburn there. And if they still would need a linebacker, then you go third round. They take, I'm trying to think which guy, Logan Brooks, Malik Harrison, Jordan Brooks. Maybe Jordan Brooks. That might be a nice fit for them. Let me see. Which order do I want to go with this? Or what about this order for the Eagles? Let's just have some fun. At 21, they managed to get Kenneth Murray to fill the linebacker need. At 53, they fill the cornerback need with Damon Arnett. And at 85, they fill the wide receiver need with Brian Edwards, South Carolina. I don't think Michael Pittman won't fall that far. Maybe Brian Edwards, maybe Tyler Johnson. That may be high for him. But yeah, that's a quick look at it. That's a quick look at the NFC East little draft preview for you. And the guys that I hope Henry Ruggs is not an Eagle. I hope Isaiah Simmons is not a Giant. And I hope Chase Young doesn't play for Washington. So we'll see what happens. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube page. Turn on the notifications. Say when. You guys like that in the background? That way. And check 1053thefan.com every day. Love you.